Hey everyone, welcome for some more gaming chill. I was gonna do some Let's Go Eevee recording, but it's kind of been taking a little too long because I had a feeling that I wouldn't be in the commentary group right away, and lo and behold, 3 attempts later, I am not in the commentary group today. But I do feel more confident in it right now, so I'm gonna try one more time. Big thing I want to get out of the way is, you may have noticed that YouTube uploads have been a bit different this month, and that's because I'm essentially taking a break from doing recording slash editing for the main series that I have been doing. Instead, I'm trying a different approach to try to help me get more eased into the whole commentary scene in the first place. If I could press the right button, that'd be a good start. And that is through live streaming. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. I kind of have been doing it lately, just kind of on and off, and I'm just getting really close to actually getting a routine going with it. Because like the past couple Saturdays nights I've streamed, and I've managed to stream 2 Monday nights in a row. So I think it's kind of safe to say that Saturday and Monday evenings I'm going to be streaming on the good old twitch.tv under my same username of Jacket K. More details will be in the description. Like, there's a lot of things I say I'm going to put in the description but forget in the editing process. That one's usually there half the time by default, so I don't think it'll be too hard to remember. And regardless, what else we have today to share with the internet and friends? Yeah, so essentially, like, the schedule with live streaming is, if I take a month, for one, I kind of feel like I need a month off. And while it's not exactly taking it off by not doing live streaming, it does save me a little time with the editing, or at least more time than just trying to do live streams and record videos at the same time. I feel like once I get big enough of a bulk for live streaming, it'll be a lot easier to do the stuff I traditionally do on YouTube. So, probably the rest of the month, maybe a little of next month too. A lot of the videos you see on YouTube will be from live streams and all that. Like, I'm pretty much guaranteed that Go Battle League Live is going to become live stream VODs, just because the content's so similar to what I already do off the Twitch air as is. So it just seems like a natural progression for that series. Plus it like gets other Pokemon Go related minded people on the same space. And it's a win-win situation for me, because if no one shows up to stream, then it just becomes a regular old Go Battle League session. But if people are on live stream, it kind of like diversifies the commentary from me just pretty much expressing what my mindset is while I'm taking various actions within the game. I forgot to get the weeds from my storage, of course. So that's going to be taking up the Friday slots on YouTube. Wednesday is a little bit more interesting because I know that's been my Let's Play slot. So currently swapping between Celeste when I actually have the time to edit it, and Let's Go Eevee. But I think I'm going to take a break from both to actually do more with a new series. What are you doing? I mean, I get enough K Jr., Jacket Juniors on the internet to be content with. No, Joy-Con drift. Cooperate with me. We are hitting the rock, not the space next to the rock. Well, that was a horrible exchange of everything possible. Friday, so the Let's Play slot, yeah. That's going to be a little bit different during the time period off. What I've been doing is, like, Friday nights I've been trying to do a recording session stream, while the Monday nights ideally will be for the Go Battle League. The competitive slash online multiplayer session within Pokemon Go. So Friday I've been recording a game that I've kind of been wanting to revisit for a long time, but just didn't have the time to do so between other series, and that's Donkey Kong Country. You may have seen the first episode of it up on YouTube as is, and since the chat was quiet for that first stream session, this was pretty much a Let's Play that I just recorded on Twitch rather than on Elgato and sync the audio commentary to the video of the gameplay after the fact. So it was actually like an easy version of what I typically do for a Let's Play anyways. I mean, we'll see if this holds true for the whole time I'm live streaming, because it is live on Twitch. So if people stop by the chat, I will be talking with them. But I hope like I can find a good method of having a good compromise between the YouTube audience and the live stream audience. Of course, if like no one actually comes up to chat, then that's easy. But I think even if people do show up to chat, that I'm hoping to find a happy medium. There's content creators like Stephen George and Tom Fox that do this all the time, from what I've seen on their channel. Madame, can I have your orange? I don't mean to be rude, but I kind of want your fruit. Thank you. This is also like the acorn seasons, and I have shaken quite a few trees. Had like 3 wasps pop down, but no acorns. It's really weird. Back on tangent though, so yeah, Donkey Kong Country. Since I'm pretty much doing a world per video, I mean, if the worlds start getting super long, I might divide it up into 2. But that's only going to emphasize the point of that. That's going to take at least a month or 2 at the rate of uploading one playthrough series every week. And I know most Let's Players do more than that, but I kind of just don't want to overwhelm myself with work. So I feel like no matter what I do, I want to try to keep as close to a 3 video a week schedule, especially if I'm doing live streaming. Who knows, maybe as I build up my upload bulk, I'll be able to do more. But we'll worry about that when the time comes. So yeah, in the gist of things, content's gonna feel different on my end, but it shouldn't feel too different on your end. And if you want to see stuff before I release it on YouTube, go follow me on Twitch. As I said before, the goal will be to stream Monday evenings and Saturday nights. I don't want to put a time frame on it exactly, just because a lot of it will fluctuate depending on my work schedule. And I'll admit, I hate committing to a time, because I'm always afraid I won't be able to. I'm afraid of what will happen if I can't live up to the expectation. That said, I think the most likely time frames, especially with work, on a Monday would probably be like a 7 o'clock. And these wouldn't be the other thing I know like other streamers like, but might be an issue with me, is that these wouldn't be long streams, like 2 hours max. But that just seems to be the best way. Ike. I should know better. So that makes like 4 bees in a single day, and I've only caught 1 of them. But at least you guys got to see me get stung on live, compared to like all the other bee stings being on failed recordings. Oops. I thought those were weeds. No, they'll grow back at least. So that's like 3 bees and 1 acorn. Loving these spawn rates. Sorry, I have to get my thoughts back together. Hope to see people on the live streaming scene and all that. And I'm kind of looking forward to feedback, because I am fluctuating the plans as I like do streams and see how they turn out, because initially the plan was going to be to do a Friday night beat the recording streams, like where I'm doing Donkey Kong Country. That will be taking over the YouTube's playthrough slot for a little bit, and a chill stream, like probably alternating between Pokemon Go and art. But I feel like I've gotten quite a huge I'm not gonna say a huge Pokemon Go audience, but I feel like the percentiles of my active viewers, my active quote-unquote community, is more on the Pokemon Go side than the general gaming side. So for that reason, I feel like it's important for me to have at least one day that I'm consistently doing Pokemon Go content, even if it's just Go Battle League stuff. So that's a huge tangent to say, I think Pokemon Go is going to be the Monday night thing, general gaming is going to be the Friday night thing, but I'm not even sure on that anymore, because I just did a Pokemon Go stream last night on the good old Monday night. And it was honestly a bit that, like, there's a couple people early on, but there's also a long period of the recording session where there's no viewer interaction, which makes me... That's fine, because I get the content out of it either way. But it does make me wonder if I should actually swap that around, do the Pokemon Go in the weekend nights where people are more available to actually hang out in the chat, and do the general gaming streams on the work week. Because like I said, it's a recording session, so the way it works out with me, it might be actually more ideal if like I do it on... If I have to choose between having Pokemon Go, having to go battles, what I'm trying to say is if I have to pick a day where there's no chat, I'd rather it be on the days I'm recording something like Donkey Kong Country than Pokemon Go. Of course, I'd like to have people show up either way, but it's just a little... having no one show up on Monday night when people are most likely to come over and chat with the Pokemon Go content kind of gives me the impression that Monday's night not a good night for streaming. Because if I can't get people to come with the things they want to see me for, then why would they see me? Then it's probably not a good night in and of itself. I kind of dilly-dally around the bush a bit, but I think that's the main purpose to what I really wanted to talk about on Game and Chill. Just the fact that things are changing around. I always try to keep people as informed as I can on Twitter as possible. I'm trying to work on... I say social media, but Twitter's the one where I actually make the posts on. If you don't like Twitter, you can always just check out the homepage of my site. I just have a Twitter feed specifically set up for announcements on there. That's why I say social media, because like if you don't follow me on Twitter, you can like bookmark the site that I have. And right on the homepage, I'll keep announcements as we go along. No Joy-Con drift. Don't move the ball. Oof. No, I gotta go take care of Leaf. It'll give me a chance to make sure there's nothing else I want to talk about. Oh, one thing that I forgot that I'd like to include the next time I have a transition. Podcasts. How did podcasts fit into this whole thing? The short answer is I didn't think that far. Obviously, taking a break from recording and editing content kind of means where the podcast fit in and all that. I think for right now, I'm not going to have a schedule with podcasts. It'd be nice if I can at least do one editorial a month, but I'm not going to hold myself to it. Especially if it's just 1 month I'm taking off, then that's like only one podcast that's getting missed. Game Chill will be uploaded to podcast platforms when it's up and ready, so there'll at least be that. And hopefully I can figure out a system that allows me to podcast more frequently as well. Like I have such a large backlog of Go Battle League now that I'm doing them on live streams. The issue is that's a bit harder to get onto a podcast format because the downside of doing a live stream and then just converting it for YouTube is because everything's recorded together, you have no control over audio levels unless you're doing it on the spot. which is a little hard to gauge in a live stream for reasons you'll only understand if you actually do live streams. Point being, like, once the stream is over, there's nothing that can be done to adjust the audio levels. And if you notice audio levels in the middle of your live stream, you can't just go back in time and adjust those audio levels. What you fix is only for everything you do afterwards. And that's a big long way to say that I don't know if it would sound good in audio only format. One of these days I'm going to sit down, take some of these podcasts, or take some of these Go Battle League VODs, see how they sound, and make a judgment from there if I can do that. Because if I can, then I'll go back to actually just having flat out commentaries in podcast format on Tuesdays and all, so there'll at least be that. As for the stuff that would take a little more time to edit, like editorials, I'll have to wing it by ear. And social media / the homepage of my site will keep you updated to that sort of stuff as I go through it. Ooh. I've been saving a lot more of these than I thought I was. I mean, that's not all bad, because, like, more money out of it all, I suppose. Oh yeah, there's one last announcement. Like, as I was alluding, I'm considering transitioning Let's Go Eevee into a stream series rather than it just be something I record and then upload. Mostly because, like, my commentary styles already feels like it's suitable on a streaming level as is. So minus the fact that it started as a YouTube series, it would work as a regular streaming series. And the plan is to, like, do one more episode recorded the normal way, and use that time frame to explain to the viewers that I'm going to be live streaming it from now on, so if they want to check it out live, they can just follow me on Twitch. But if they rather just stick to YouTube, they'll still get it at the same rate, if not a better rate, or more frequently than if I was recording it normally. That's the thing, like, if I have the live streaming format going on, then I don't really have to edit. Like, I have some tools to kind of, like, make markers of when to stop and end segments as I'm streaming. So usually it just takes, like, a few minutes to clip those segments together into highlights, and I just export that from YouTube there. I guess it's technically editing, but it's a lot less editing than the Let's Play series is. Even the ones I already would consider easy editing. It's even easier if I do it on the live stream sort of system. And that's part of the reason why I really want to do Let's Go Eevee as a live stream. But of course I kind of gotta finish up Donkey Kong Country before moving onwards to that plan. So probably when I finish talking about Game and Chill today, I'll record one more episode, Let's Go Eevee. And whenever I finish editing it, either squeeze it in on a Donkey Kong Country slot, or make an exception and upload it on a day that I don't normally upload on, just so I can explain all of that to the people who aren't watching Game and Chill. And I guess that's all I got with news and events revolving around the channel. Could talk a little bit of what's going on in my life, but I think I want to, like, sell some things and get some ideas together before I start talking. So it's been an interesting week for me. With the fact that I'm recording in the middle of a Tuesday afternoon, it's safe to say that I actually got some time off this week. It's Labor Day, so I had that holiday off because the company I work for does a lot of work with banks, so a lot of times our holidays are tied off with when they do holidays, even if we're not exactly a bank company to begin with. Alright, let me see how many files I've been just having clog up the inventory. And we'll do donations from there. Yeah, I'm kind of debating if I actually spent the week wisely. But at least I had a relaxing time with it all. I was able to hang out with I wouldn't, not literally hang out, but actually do online activities with friends that I normally don't do. Really, I don't need the stingray, but not this random grasshopper. That definitely caught me off guard. So yeah, I'm kind of like, you know, what this weekend was in general. And I know there's like so many other things going on to talk about, because like I think I kind of like finally got the details sorted out with therapy and that. So ironically, when I got the details sorted out with therapy, I started wondering if I actually still need therapy. But I guess I don't want to get too personal with it. I'll let you know if like there's, as I come across details with it that would be useful to share, that I'm willing to share, I'll share them. But there's kind of like so many other things going on, like, but it's just so far, time frames are so far apart when I do this stuff that I kind of forget what it is. So let me just start with the weekend, because even that's a little foggy, I gotta be honest. So I did get done with Tuesday. The thing with, I probably could have just gotten away with the Monday off, but I'm trying to make the most out of my time off. So like if I already have Monday off, it just seems smart to actually take the Tuesday off as well, because it makes the weekend feel longer than it normally is, and it makes the week feel shorter than it normally is, even though it's basically the same thing. I love tool durability. Well, why don't I just go swimming where I don't have to worry about all that? So my Monday started out with like Tuesday is breakfast stream. That's, if I can get a Tuesday off. If I gotta get an excuse to get a Tuesday off, I might as well, because that live stream is a real enjoyable thing I watch. Like I even just watch / listen to it as a VOD while I'm working. But there's an element of viewer interaction that you just don't get unless you actually are at a live stream watching it live. In addition, like, the day's kind of been soft besides that. Like, I think I did a little, breakfast stream always goes on for a long period of time, so I think I just did some room cleaning after that. Then did like Pokemon. I noticed that like in a local area had a mega raid going on. I had like 2 free raid passes, because like even though I did a lot of raiding yesterday, I couldn't find any raids to do. They were all raids I was getting invited to from friends and that. I'll get more on that when I backtrack to Monday though. So, if I want to make use out of the free raid pass, I decided to just stop by real quick. Do that raid, invite some of my friends that have been kind enough to invite me to return the favor with raiding, also just because I like to have people involved in hobbies that I already like. So that's kind of just the thrill I get out of inviting friends to raids. It kind of justifies doing the raid system in and of itself, especially because a lot of my friends actually are more on the casual side, if they play Pokemon Go at all still. So it really helps out them with the game, which makes me feel happy because I get to help someone through something I like. I feel like it's like the best form of happiness if, like, just from you being you, you get to make the people you care about feel better. Before I get too deep on that, that was a little bit more stressful than I thought, because that whole therapy thing I was talking about, I completely forgot they had a schedule appointed until after I told the physical friends that, yeah, I'd be doing a raid. But it was like, there was enough time frame between that and the appointment that I figured I could get away with doing both, and sure enough I did. I just caused a little extra stress on myself, but I'm fine now. So there was that, and then just, I think there was a bit of a time period after that appointment of just like in a state of, what do I do? So I eventually like tried to do the Let's Go Eevee recording, and I was just having a commentary blank, so I did Game Chill. where I didn't have a commentary blank, but like I was so all over the place, that I still had to do a couple attempts at this recording session anyways. As you can tell by the fact that now we're at like probably 20 minutes before cutting things away, and I've only just talked about today. Monday, big notable things about Monday was the remote raiding I did while I was out in the park, but wasn't able to make use of my free raid passes because they were all remote raids. Not that I care. I mean, sure, it'd be nice if the free pass allowed you to remote raids at least during these time periods of social distancing. Because I have actually been keeping myself fairly isolated. Like, even when I'm going out to raid with other people, like, I'm usually just stuck in my car. And I didn't even see any of the people I was raiding with today as I did it. So it's mostly been remote raiding or just like fairly social distance raiding and not really hanging out with the people too much afterwards. But yeah, like Monday was fun because of being able to connect with some friends in Pokemon Go with only for remote raiding. And then I just pretty much spent way more time than I like to admit reconnecting with a friend through Fall Guys of all things. Just like we decided to squad up and go into all the events together and just have on Discord chat in between while the mini games were loading. And it was just fun. That was so fun, and I've been meaning to spend more time. Is Boy just talking about trying to justify this onesie he's wearing that is in no way my fault? Anyways, yeah, it's fun to connect back with friends, especially when it's a friend that you've been meaning to hang out with for a long period of time, but your schedule never really works out with their schedule. It's all good. The only downside of all that was basically my day. I didn't really do anything constructive yesterday, and minus like the therapy appointment. I don't even feel like I've done too much constructive today yet. Oh yeah, I guess there was that Monday night live stream. But yeah, like what? Why is everything going so wrong? First the slingshot breaks, and now I lost a present in the field of flowers. I should know better, but still, I was impatient. Let me see if I can like reconnect. Let me get my tools back to the very least, because it's freaking annoying to try to work around not having them. Hey Axel. I think overall, a big issue, I suppose, with my weekend was simply the fact that I had a game plan for Saturday. Saturday was super constructive. I cleaned my room, I helped folks around with the yard and all that. Did a lot of things. But then, like, every other day after that just hasn't really felt as good because I didn't have as solid of a game plan. Obviously, as you can see with me talking through about Monday and today, I have gotten some things done, just didn't feel as constructive as Saturday. I can't even remember what Sunday was. I should, because I have. The thing is, I don't remember now, but as soon as I'm done recording, I'm going to look at my notebook just to reassure myself. And I'm going to see all the things that I did on each day of the weekend, and I'm not even going to feel bad. I'm going to feel more productive when I'm done recording. But because I have such a bad memory, all I can think about is all the things I haven't done. And I think we're at half an hour just going around the loop anyways. One thing I want to do more often with Game & Chill, because I am half tempted to make it its own thing I upload on YouTube. But at the same time, I kind of already do it on Game and Chill. I think I just have like a separate section I add on the back, just showcasing all the art that I've done in between the last Game and Chill and this one. And people are free to let me know if they would prefer just to have like a separate video where I showcase everything that I've drawn. If I have done any art or photography, throw that in there as well. And just like talk about everything I've done. So yeah, let me know if you prefer that to be his own video or just in the back end of Game and Chill, but that's basically what we're going to do for the back end of it. And because I have a memory of a goldfish and will forget about everything until I actually add it in on the video, I think I'm going to just post-commentate it when I'm done. So now that you've enjoyed my art, thank you all for tuning in for this edition of Game and Chill. Apologies in advance if this month is a little bit all over the place, but I think as I'm getting more familiar with my streaming schedule, and for those of you who think like 2 days a week isn't enough, I am considering streaming other days a week. It's just that Monday and Saturday would be the only days that I promise to do a live stream unless something major comes up. But like if I want to do a recording session, if it's something like Let's Go Eevee where I probably already... it's something that would be easy to record anyways, I may just make a live stream out of that in the middle of the week. But it all just depends on when I would be planning on record anyways. So thanks again for tuning in. Hope to see y'all later. Getting off now before I get real sidetracked. Because I already was kind of getting caught up on just like details like, oh, it's not actually weekend. Because like maybe I record on a Saturday. Or record on a Sunday but still stream on a Saturday. So if it's something that part of a live stream series anyways, I might as well live stream it instead of just record it offline. But yeah, for real, take good care. So, despite all the time that's passed, I haven't really done a project as major as paper TRG. To be fair, I haven't even touched the paper art style that I had. A lot of times just been like, one of my main ideas I had in the back of my head was as soon as I finish that big project, I was going to spend more time working on my characters, especially those that tie to Overseer of the Elements, to some degree formerly known as Jackie and Friends. Like first off here I have a sketch that I finally got around to digitizing and coloring of just a couple of my characters dressed up as the Harvest Moon girls from A Wonderful Life. Never did get around to drawing the third character as the third girl. I got ideas who I would put in that third role if I were to revisit the project. But I just wanted to like finish it up and get it out there. I'm actually a little embarrassed of how much digital projects I have to share because the majority of them are actually just sketches. And I'm probably not going to get all of them up in the video just because the process of like getting stuff from my sketchbook onto the computer is a little bit of a hassle. But you'll see them in between while I'm talking about the main topics. But a lot of my focus is on drawing. It's not just like making good art. It's just like helping me flesh out ideas for the world of Element of the Overseer. For example, in the second one here, I have a couple drawings I did of like, I think I decided I'm calling them soul spirits for now. If you play Golden Sun, they're that game's equivalent where they have an alignment with each element. And they not only buff characters, have their own side effects, but can also change the types of moves and abilities characters have based on what combination of them you have equipped. I'm still playing around with what I want to do for the finalized idea of each element, and maybe I'll have multiple designs, because like, if I'm going to make a game out of it, I'll probably simplify it down into one design per element. But if I'm just like playing around with it in like fan drawings and that, might be a little more creative. Like, one of the ideas I have is one of the main characters having one of these soul spirits as a pet, like even before the party is properly introduced to them. And it basically disguises itself as a cat and plays this character's pet. Because the soul spirits, along with some other characters, don't have a definite physical form, they just take the shape that they choose of their liking. So that would be how like a fire one, even though like in the drawing I showed before, the current tentative design of the fire is like burning coals, it could hypothetically turn itself into a cat dragon-like creature to appear more animal-like and blend in better with people. I don't think I talked about it yet, and since we're on the tangent of Element of the Overseers, this is a good time to bring it up as any. So at the beginning of the year, I wanted to push the boundaries of what I could draw when it comes to people. So I started doing practice of people in wheelchairs. And funny enough, just like only after a couple craft sketches, a character design idea came to me almost immediately. And as I was drawing them and the backstory was just getting fleshed out in my head, I realized they fit perfectly in one of the roles that I have for the game. So that's pretty much where Techie came from. You've probably seen her once or twice because I think I shared her on social media. But especially for the videos, this is the first... I definitely finished coloring her in for the first time since this video came out. I guess the funniest part about all of this is even though she may technically be one of the more newer characters that I've designed, it feels like she's always belonged. I guess because she just picks up a couple of prominent roles that kind of fell to the wayside since I was trying to push this to be a more original idea and not just like fantasies and that. What I'm saying is like early on in Overseer of the Elements, I think there was always plans of being like a character who was a tech genius that hanged out with the party. And there was also like a pen pal that kind of introduced Jacket and Sarah, the two main characters, from their isolated island home to the rest of the world. And just as I was fleshing out Techie, she just fit perfectly. I'm not going to go into all the details of why just yet, but I can talk a little bit more about the role that she plays. At least in the first game, and I'm already kind of fleshing out things that she would play in like the second hypothetical game, and even the third hypothetical game. I know that seems kind of weird, but you gotta keep in mind that Overseer of the Elements, to some degree, has been an idea in my head for practically all of my childhood. It's obviously evolved over the years, but certain elements of it have always remained. And like back in the older days, like there's like definitely several dozen different installments that the ideas fell into. When I say installments, I mean like several different stories that, if I was making this a game series, would each be their own video game. But this year especially, I'm trying to condense ideas now, and just as I'm fleshing them more out, see if I can condense the ideas into like a trilogy of stories instead of just like maybe like a couple stories, but with all these backstories in between. Like a lot of this comes from daydream, so I still kind of like occasionally have fun with daydreaming alternative worlds or additional side stories, but I'm trying to keep a lot of my imagination focused on the main two. Maybe third if I got some like really radical ideas, considering the tone that the hypothetical third one is currently shaping up to be. But tying it all back to Techie, I think, as I was gonna say, she kind of just fit a couple roles that were pretty much abandoned. Like the characters that I originally had for those roles, they kind of either flat out abandoned because they were not original characters, and I was trying to push Overseer of the Element to be a more original thing, or the character design I had originally was just not as interesting. So that's kind of what happened to the pen pal and the tech support character respectfully. And as I was just fleshing out Techie's character more and more in my head, just realized how perfect of a fit she was for those two roles. So it's kind of funny how she's one of the newer characters, but pretty much is one of the most early prominent main characters in the series. She's not... I don't think I ever actually talked about what Overseer of the Elements is. So let me give a little more background on that. The very basics is, in a sense, similar to Golden Sun. It takes place in a world where various people have the ability to use elemental powers. Like the 4 basic elements from alchemy: fire, water, earth, and wind. Something I play a bit more around with in the element of the Overseer than I do in Golden Sun is the concept of some people having elemental powers being more a prominent thing rather than just being an anomaly. But there's still a good chunk of people in this world that don't have the powers. The main characters that fight in the party, including Jacket, Sarah, and others I haven't talked about, so I don't want to overcomplicate things, are adepts that use like the soul spirits and all that. And Techie is technically not one of those characters, but considering the role that she plays and the access to technology she has, she plays a very prominent support role, if not flat out party member. And I don't think it's going to be a major thing in the first installment, possibly. I'm still fleshing that out. But like, she's so prominent with the technology, and especially technology experimenting around with machines being able to use the elemental powers, that she can hold her own in combat simply just from the technology being able to do that sort of stuff. From a gameplay perspective, the most prominent role she plays is kind of similar to characters like Goombario and Goombella. If we wouldn't go even further, even like Tippy and some of the other support characters from Paper Mario, where she and her little robot friend Profi allow you to scan enemies and get a little bio on them, see their HP. From a gameplay perspective, I'm trying to not have it be Techie exclusive though. Like, Profi can allow other characters to scout out enemies on their turn too, just so it's a bit more balanced. And like, the current format of Story 1 I have going on is that there would be 4 main party members, 1 for each element, and a support character role. So Techie would be a perfect example of this. There are other party members that join that also play the support character role though, but Profi would allow Techie to, at the very least, help scout out enemies even if she's not on that support character role. Hopefully I'm not too over into place. I just didn't want this whole art block to be just about concepts of element of the Overseer, because there's a couple other things I still want to share, but I didn't want to leave you completely in the dark. So yeah, I look forward to doing more of Techie and other characters from the Element and Overseer series in the future. That's where the majority of my sketch time has gone, at the very least, as you've probably seen if I've actually took the time to upload additional sketches as I'm telling all this story about this hypothetical fan game. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get around to, simply because of just the borders I have with programming. On the tangent of art projects I'm surprised I haven't revisited, I was going through one, and also on the tangent of really old artistic ideas that I've had. I was going through like some of my middle school, if not late elementary school sketches, including one that was just basically a fan Pokemon dex. So as you're probably seeing right now, I decided for the fun of it that I would do a redraw, where I try to take a random sketch from that old collection of fan Pokemon and try to redraw it with all the artistic experience that I have today. Some of the designs are a little bit intimidating, so I try to keep it simple. Therefore, it may not look as different as you would think like several years of experience drawing would make. But it was a fun way to actually just get myself into the project, and I kind of fell out of it going back to OC stuff again. Sorry, I'm so used to throwing that term around, force of habit. It's short for original characters, and most people use it to describe like characters they made that are original to them, and not just like either fan art of characters or something like that. Yeah, hopefully now I'm actually taking the time to talk about it, I'll actually think to do it more in the future. You know what? I just came up with a cool stream idea. I've been wanting to try to do art on streams, but I'm not sure how many people will be interested in it. But considering the Pokemon fan base I think I have, if you guys want to see an art stream where I just take one of these old sketches I have and redraw them live on Twitch, that'd probably be a fun way to actually do art on the channel while still keeping in some of the things that I think that my quote-unquote fan base actually like from me. No, I'm just saying that because I know that the majority of my viewers are Pokemon Go fans. So I feel like doing an art stream like this would be more inviting than just like doing a fan art stream of like my characters from Overseer of the Elements, or just fan art of other YouTubers they may not have heard of. Speaking of fan art of YouTubers you might have heard of, probably the last major thing I've done since the last Game and Chill was a piece of fan art of YouTubers that, if you're purely Pokemon Go fans, may not have heard of. But how do I even give context to this sort of thing? I guess the start of the beginning. Yeah, it's gonna be very hard to give context to it. Like, I would just recommend looking up This Only Podcast. Start at the latest episode. Hopefully this will go up. The podcast is once a month, and this was just from the September podcast, so hopefully this will be up in time. Easiest way is to go watch This Only Podcast and get the context from there. I'll try to give a little more backstory. Essentially, like, YouTubers I watch, like, let's just say a joke from one charity stream went to a joke on another charity stream, to a joke on another charity stream, until the This Only Podcast started, where there was a video game block and people voted to literally have them play the Game Boy Advance disc player, but without a Game Boy Advance game. So it was literally just the disc only. So it basically just became a podcast. At least that was the joke, until it literally became a podcast that they started doing every single month. And for this month, somehow, side topic after side topic came across drawing people as other things. Essentially because, like, a big thing on one of the YouTubers that does this podcast, Proton John, kind of has a running gag where people draw them as girls, to put it lightly. And I guess another one of the YouTuber has like their own running thing of what people like to draw them as for fan art. But two of the YouTubers don't have this sort of thing. So one of them outed out the other, giving them the idea to draw them, which resulted in the other person outing them out with an idea to draw them as. And that is why you see a cactus and a washing machine with hair on screen right now. So on the left, you see Stephen and George, founders of things you may have heard me talk about if you watch me on social media, including Peggy and Breakfast Stream, as a cactus. Because Tom Fox, the dude on the right, dared chat to draw him as various plants, including cacti. And on the right, you see that Tom Fox fellow drawn as a washing machine because Stephen dared chat to draw him as electric appliances, including a washing machine. And here we are. Wow, okay, I did not expect to spend 20 minutes talking on artists. I'm not sure if that's going to be a frequent singing. If it is, it's probably long enough to make its own video. I'll try to include it in Game and Chill. Might make it a bit longer of an episode than usual though. A lot of this is experimental right now, so I'm definitely playing by ear. So if you got like this extra video on your feed, now you know why. And back to the Animal Crossing, just long enough to properly say goodbye to y'all. So now that you've enjoyed my art, thank you all for tuning in for this edition of Game and Chill. Apologies in advance if this month is a little bit all over the place, but I think as I'm getting more familiar with my streaming schedule, and for those of you who think like 2 days a week isn't enough, I am considering streaming other days of the week. It's just that Monday and Saturday would be the only days that I promise to do a live stream unless something major comes up. But like if I want to do a recording session, if it's something like Let's Go Eevee where I probably already... it's something that would be easy to record anyways, I may just make a live stream out of that in the middle of the week. But it all just depends on when I would be planning on record anyways. So thanks again for tuning in. Hope to see y'all later. Getting off now before I get real sidetracked. Because I already was kind of getting caught up on just like details like, oh, it's not actually weekend. Because like maybe I record on a Saturday. Or record on a Sunday but still stream on a Saturday. So if it's something that part of a live stream series anyways, I might as well live stream instead of just record it offline. But yeah, for real, take care.